Edition uniforms pay homage to a World Championship NBA coach, Naismith Hall of Famer, brilliant basketball aficionado, and 70s chic fashionista Coach Jack Ramsey, or Dr. Jack. Check out the new Uniquely Portland, Uniquely Plaid City Edition collection, available at your favorite retail site, ripcityclothing.com. Blazers win it in overtime, 115-113 over Memphis. Let's hear from Chauncey Billups.
Second half, so there were runs that they made that I would normally, try to calm the waters with a timeout. Couldn't do it. Taylor did a great job with his challenges, tonight. I thought it gained them momentum every time. At the end, shoot 4 straight threes, everything was against us. We just was very connected the whole time and kept scrapping. We kept scrapping. We said that if we did a good job of not turning the ball over tonight, we felt like we would have a good chance in the game. We took care of the ball. That's a gritty, tough, really, really tough defensive team. They make it really tough for you. So there was a lot of good things to take away, and there's a lot of, obviously, improvement areas as well.
Chauncey, bit of a two-parter here. One, you guys are generating free throws at a crazy rate in the last 2 games, particularly against your opponents' rate. So you're getting them while not getting them. But offensively, your primary actions are generating much, but your secondary looks are getting you so much more. What do you think is kind of encouraging that?
Well, one, that's what we want to do. We want to be on the attack at all times. We want to get to that free throw line. We want to get as many free throws as we can by just attacking the paint, and then you get teams in the bonus and, they kind of want to shy away, and we want to keep pushing. It's a good way for us to score, especially when we haven't shot it very well. So let's get to the free throw line. The only shot in basketball where nobody can guard you, or even be in front of you for that matter. So let's try to get there. So we've done a good job with that. The initial parts of our offense that you talked about, most good defensive teams are going to take away that initial action, So then it becomes, how do we play when they take stuff away? And I'm always say, when in doubt, get to the paint and just make the right
Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. Well, we have a wild show today. I have a secret confession to make. So let's meet Julia and her husband, John. Come on out. All right, so let me get this straight. You guys have been married for 2 years now. That's great. And John, you love your wife a lot, right? All right, I think it's time to hear your wife's secret confession. Julia, you came here today to tell your husband something. Go ahead.
All right, baby, here's the deal. Every night, well, 3 or 4 nights a week when you think I'm waiting tables, I've been a call girl.
You a prostitute?
Duh.
Oh, okay, let's calm down here. Let's talk about this.
I work my ass off during the day, and this is how you repay me?
Take it easy.
It's nothing personal, honey. You know that.
Why are you doing it then?
I'm doing it for the bread. You ain't cutting it, honey. We are not making the bills. I like to wear nice things. I like to drive a nice car. And the waitressing was paying me, like $20 a night. That is nothing in today's world.
I'm working 12 hours a day out there clipping those goddamn sheep, and this is what you do?
Well, evidently it's not enough money. What am I supposed to do?
So, Julia, you're telling us that you only do this for the money?
Well, not really, but I do what I gotta do because I can make $200 or $300 a night, and that is cash, Harry. Cold hard cash, and we need to make our ends meet. And it's totally safe. I've been totally safe. It's just I gotta do what I gotta do.
Just don't talk to me. I feel dirty. I don't want the damn watch, and this is where it
quit your
came
whining.
from.
You sound like a little baby. I can't stand it. No wonder I gotta go to other men. Because I need a man. I don't want a boy.
Stop
For Christ's
talking.
sake.
This is not the woman that I married, goddamn.
I don't care what you think. I have to do what I gotta do, and I'm bringing home the bacon. I'm taking care of myself.
Then get the hell out of my house, woman. I don't
you know
need
you
you
come
no
back
more.
for me. You
Oh,
run after
please.
me all the time. I go to
You're
my
the one
mom's
who keeps
house and
crawling back after all
pounding
your
on the
little
door
league
saying,
sports.
"Oh, Julia,
Oh, don't even
okay,
talk to me no
okay,
more.
calm down.
It's all fantasy stuff. It's a
Fantasy
very high
nothing, you're a
stuff.
goddamn slut.
No, it's a very, very high mighty place.
I didn't might have placed my ass. Like,
No,
I've
there's
never
a lot
been
of
there for my
classy
full.
people.
Would you
I
say...
never heard of that, you being there.
Alright,
you
my
say-
cousin just turned 21. What the hell do you think we took him?
I've only seen one person there that I knew.
And who was that?
It was Bobby.
Bobby? My
Yes,
brother Bobby?
Yes, he did. But I had a mask on. You didn't know it was me.
Were you with my brother Bobby?
Well, there was a couple of us, please.
The couple of you y'all sluts. Y'all just
What's your
my
name,
damn
Colin? Yeah, what's your name, Colin? I'll do what I gotta do.
my damn brother and so mean.
Okay, that's what it is. No idea that it was me. Now leave me alone.
Oh my god.
Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. Well, we have a wild show today. I have a secret confession to make. So let's meet Julia and her husband, John. Come on out. All right, so let me get this straight. You guys have been married for 2 years now. That's great. And John, you love your wife a lot, right? All right, I think it's time to hear your wife's secret confession. Julia, you came here today to tell your husband something. Go ahead.
All right, baby, here's the deal. Every night, well, 3 or 4 nights a week when you think I'm waiting tables, I've been a call girl.
I work my ass off during the day, and this is how you pay me?
Take it easy.
It's nothing personal, honey. You know that.
Why are you doing it then?
I'm doing it for the bread. You ain't cutting it, honey. We are not making the bills. I like to wear nice things. I like to drive a nice car. And the waitressing was paying me, like $20 a night. That is nothing in today's world.
I'm working 12 hours a day out there clipping those goddamn sheep, and this is what you do?
Well, evidently it's not
telling us that you only do this for the money?
Well, not really, but you know, I do what I gotta do because I can make $200 or $300 a night, and that is cash, Harry. Cold hard cash, and we need to make our ends meet. And it's totally safe. I've been totally safe. It's just I've got to do what I gotta do.
Just don't talk to me. I feel dirty. I don't want the damn watch. This
Oh,
is where it
quit your
came
whining
from.
and sound like a little baby. I can't stand it. No wonder I gotta go to other men. When I need a man, I don't want a boy.
Stop talking. This is not the woman that I married, goddamn.
I don't care what you think. I have to do what I gotta do, and I'm bringing home the bacon. I'm taking care of myself.
And get the hell out of the house, woman.
Oh, you know you come back for me. You
Oh,
run after me
please.
all the time. I'm
You don't want to keep crawling back out the hell you
on the
live
door
in.
saying, "Oh, Judy,
I'm done with
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
it's all fancy stuff. It's
Fancy
very high
nothing, you're a
stuff.
goddamn
No,
slut.
it's very, very high.
I might have placed my ass. Like I never been there before.
I never heard of that. You being there.
Alright, my cousin just turned 21. What the hell do you think we took him?
I've only seen one person there that I knew.
And who was that?
It was Bobby.
Bobby? My brother Bobby? Were you with my brother Bobby? A couple of you fucks, y'all sluts, y'all
Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. Well, we have a wild show today. I have a secret confession. So let me Julia and her husband John. Come on up. All right, so let me be straight. You guys have been married for 2 years now. That's great. And John, you love your wife a lot, right? All right, I think it's time to hear your wife's secret confession. Julia, you came here today to tell your husband something. Go ahead.
All right, baby, here's the deal. Every night, well, 3 or 4 nights a week, when we think I'm waiting tables, I get a call.
620 Rip City Radio, KPOJ, Portland, and iHeart Radio Station.
Here we go, the inbound, and again it's drive, stop, on, shoot, short, no good, and the game is over! Kermit on the inbound play, inbound, fades in the horn, he scores! They score, and they win it! Bingo, bango, bango, yes sir! Bounce pass to Ainge, Ainge for three, rip! Yes sir!
Blake now throws to Roy, Brandon a three-pointer out front, hit it! Yes he did! Oh, yeah! Deep three! Oh! What? Blazers win the series! A walk-off three from Lillard!
It's a new era in Portland.
Rebound Sharp, put back dunk! And a new career high for Shaedon Sharp!
I will miss the chance to learn from Dame, but we also have Anthony Simons and JG, guys that have been around him. I won't miss the development on my own part.
It's the fifth quarter with Chad Dewing and Chris Burkhardt. The fifth quarter is presented by Frost Brewed Coors Light, made to chill.
Well, what's going on, my friends? Show me your Blazer. How about that game tonight? In overtime, the Portland Trailblazers over the Memphis Grizzlies by a final score of 115 to 113. And once again, like the two games we saw on the road in Toronto and Detroit, there's a lot of things to take away from this game that I think you can enjoy with the incremental growth that we're looking for and just the overall scrappiness of this group and the way they're able to get the win tonight. They were down by 10 points with 3:15 remaining in the game, and yet they found a way to get it done. And it was once again Shaedon Sharp, the youngster, who was leading the team down the stretch. It was his show. He didn't have a great shooting night, but he made a lot of big plays down the stretch, including attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, making a couple of clutch free throws late in the game, and then had that incredible block at the end of regulation, which forced overtime. That was an awesome play. And it was one of those situations where Shaedon got out of position, but was able to get back into a position to make the block, and he got it done. So big credits to Shaedon Sharp, who really played well down the stretch, and the team was looking to him. And it's kind of really weird to see, but you've got a bunch of vets on the floor, and they're all getting the ball and making an effort to make sure that Shaedon is the focal point of the offense late in that game. That's awesome. Shaedon Sharp is stepping up and emerging before our eyes. And what a response from Shaedon after he got the call from the coach to step into the starting lineup when Anthony Simons went down. And there was discussion when that went down. A lot of people did not know what the decision would be from Coach Billups. Was he going to go with Malcolm Brogdon and put him in the starting lineup next to Scoot to take some of the pressure off of the rookie? Or would he go with Shaedon? And he chose the rookie, and that clearly was the right decision because he's emerged. He's playing with confidence. He's getting to his spots, and we don't see any of that hesitation that we saw in preseason, especially when Anthony Simons was on the floor. And I said this before the game tonight, and I'll say it again. I don't care what they do when Anthony comes back, but Shaedon Sharp must continue to start and play starter minutes. He has to. And more importantly, he needs to realize that even when he's on the floor with Ant, get to your spots, be aggressive, and do not hesitate. His length, his athleticism, and the way he plays the game is great. And it's something they need to see more and more of. If you're a Blazer fan right now, you should be feeling pretty darn good about yourself. You know, we're all focused in on Scoot because he was the number 3 overall pick in the draft. And, you know, he's the guy with all the bravado and all the attention. And that's great. But Shaedon Sharp is now in year number 2. And you can see the transformation from Shaedon last year to Shaedon this year. And now stepping into the starting lineup and playing with confidence and being a difference maker down the stretch. That is terrific. So props to Shaedon Sharp. And really, a number of the Blazers able to step up tonight. Tourney Camara getting massive minutes and was playing clutch basketball. I like that lineup we saw there in the overtime period and late in the game in the fourth. They went with three veterans. They had Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, and Malcolm Brogdon on the floor, along with Shaden Sharp and Tourney Camara. And Camara tonight got 31 minutes in the game. Just his effort on defense, being in the right position, contesting, and forcing the Grizzlies into some mistakes. He's the right type of player. He's Chauncey Billups type of player because he doesn't mess around. He listens. He understands what the coaches want him to do, and he works his tail off. And he's got length, but he can defend. I love watching him, fight through screens. He's working hard to communicate and using his abilities the best that he possibly can. So tonight, the Trailblazers got multiple guys to step up and make a contribution. Jeremy Grant had a team-high 26 points. He connected on 3 of 7 from downtown. Also, a rare night where he pulled down 8 rebounds, had 3 assists. A big effort from DeAndre Ayton once again, 30-plus minutes and high production, 16 points, 12 boards, 2 assists, and 3 steals. It's kind of nice to have a guy that finishes around the rim that plays the center position, too. I like the way he's played over the last 3 games. DeAndre Ayton looking strong. Shaden Sharp tonight, 46 minutes in the game, 22 points, 5 rebounds. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but he was clutch late in the game in the fourth and into overtime. And hit a clutch 3. And had the great block. And hit a couple of clutch free throws. Shaden Sharp flexing his bag out there on the floor. Malcolm Brogdon, 24 points and 10 assists. He played 44 minutes tonight. And off the bench, they got a surprising burst from Skylar Mays, 9 points in 15 minutes of action. Robert Williams is a man, 19 minutes, 8 points, 10 boards. He's a freak. And Tourney Camara, as I mentioned before, 5 points and 3 rebounds, but it was his defense that was a difference maker for the Trailblazers. I mean, right now, I'll just say it. You might as well just put Tourney Camara in the starting lineup and put Matisse Thybulle on the bench. No disrespect to Thybulle. Great guy, great team guy, good in the locker room, but they're getting so much more from other guys on the roster. So put Tourney Camara in there. With his defense and his activity, he's going to be more of a difference maker for the team. He has been over the last few games. Why not go with the youth? They got nothing to lose. Love Tourney. He might end up being the steal of that trade. And Jabari Walker had 9 minutes of action tonight, but they leaned more on the veterans and on Shaden Sharp, who were able to get the job done. That was impressive. Very impressive. Telephone number is 503-248-0620. And my name is Chad. This is the 5th quarter. Blazers get the win in overtime, 115 to 113 over the Grizzlies. They will be back at it on Sunday against the Grizzlies. Tip-off is at 6, and tonight was the first of the brand-new NBA in-season tournament games. Let's go out to Dave, who is in Portland, wants to talk a little Shaden. Hey, Dave, welcome to the 5th quarter. What's on your mind?
Chad, how you doing, man? Hey, before
Fabulous.
I talk about Shaden, the Blazers center combo, Ayton, Williams, just leave that in place. There's no reason to trade Williams. That dude's a baller. Guy's tough, physical. They're 25 years old, and they played in NBA championships, man. Just keep that duo around. And you're set at the center position. I love that combo. Shaden, that guy, okay, the three-pointer, the 2 clutch free throws, the block shot, that stuff, you don't see that out of a 20-year-old kid in clutch time against a team that was desperate. Memphis 0-5, man, they were playing hard. I was at the game. There was physical, intense, playoff intensity basketball in that game. Crowd going wild. And this guy steps up like he's done it for 10 years. He's 20 years old. The play, though, that I would say showed how good this guy is going to be. They're in overtime, and finally they're kind of running stuff through Shea. A lot of times he sits in the corner, and I don't get that. So they start running stuff through him. They run a pick and roll, and they blitz the kid. He's 20 years old. They're blitzing him like he's Dame. And the guy doesn't get phased. He makes the correct pass. He skips it across to Brogdon, who's wide open, skips it, and they get a 3 out of it. I think Grant hit the 3. That's all the respect in the world for a ball player in overtime when you're blitzing him on a pick and roll, and it didn't phase him a bit.
Yeah.
The Portland fans, man, like, we should be ecstatic about this kid.
And, Dave, didn't you like the way the team, when they were down by 10 with 3:15 to play in the game, they weren't shooting the ball well. The offense was rough, but they continued to grind and created some opportunities with their hustle and their defense, too.
They're a different defensive team right now. You got Kamara coming in off the bench. Shaden's working his tail off. The center position is night and day with the mobility of their centers, and they're locked in much better. So, yeah, to be down 10 with 3:15, I don't think anybody was giving them a chance. No question about it. But they hung in there and got some clutch buckets. Great game. If you were at that game, it was a lot of electricity. It's fun to be at.
Hey, Dave, I appreciate the call, man. Enjoy your weekend, brother.
Thanks, Chad. Have a good one, man.
You got it. Sounds like Dave might have been yelling a little bit there at Moda Center. His voice has taken some work. Hey, look, I agree. I want Ayton to be here for a long period of time. As I've mentioned time and time again, I'm a big fan of DeAndre Ayton. With Robert Williams, the guy's a stud. There's no question about it. Robert Williams is a stud. I guess my question would be this. Two things with Robert Williams. Number one, does he want to be here long term? And more importantly, what kind of an offer would he get or would the Blazers get for someone that might be interested in Robert Williams? That's really what it's going to come down to with guys like Williams and Brogdon is what are teams, especially contenders as we near the deadline, what kind of package are they going to be willing to offer up? And the great part about Joe Cronin right now, there's no pressure to make a move today. They don't have to rush and do anything. So you can sit back and wait and see what offers might come out. Do what is best for the franchise, meaning if someone's going to offer you just a boatload of assets for one of these veterans, then you can do it. Because, again, it's not about the team today. It's about what they can shape and put together roster-wise and asset-wise. 503-248-0620. Blazers come from behind tonight, down 10 with 3:15 to play. They force overtime and good defensive effort. Great play late in the game from Shaden Sharp and the Blazers able to get the win. Let's go back out to the phones. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. Let's grab Tall Tim. Hey, Tall Tim, welcome to the fifth quarter. What's on your mind?
3-3. I mean, okay, do anybody think we're going to be 3-3 when we knew the preseason was going to extend into the regular season and they're going to throw Scoot out to the wind and just say, okay, get as many minutes as you can and learn, the hard way. This is trending upwards, and I think one thing I've noticed lately is that the coach is looking for dogs, D-A-W-G, and he's kind of narrowed it down a little bit, to like, okay, you guys seem like at the end you got a little bit of thing going. Kamara's in there, Brogdon obviously, but you know what I mean? It's like he's kind of like said, these are the guys I'm going to run with, and it's really starting to click, and it's fun. I'm having a lot more fun than I was thinking I was going to have. What about you?
Oh, no, it's a lot of fun, Tall Tim. And what I like, too, is what he did in the last game at Detroit where he wasn't getting the effort and the execution from Shaden and Scoot, so he pulled him from the game and said, you guys aren't ready for the moment. He held them accountable, and I think there's got to be some discipline in place for the youngsters, and then you can pick and choose the guys you want to play based on the effort and the execution that you're getting from those players. And that's why late in the game we saw the three vets in Grant, Ayton, and Brogdon, along with the two youngsters in Sharp and Kamara. He went with the guys, the dogs, that he thought would finish the game the right way, and they did. And he got big play from them. In terms of, this thing trending upward, I think it's too early to know. I like where they're at 3-3, but we'll see how things continue to play out. But as long as they give this type of effort and play with that type of energy, they will be an entertaining brand of basketball to watch. And regardless of wins or losses, if we see development from the youngsters and those guys going out and playing like that, then, people are going to line up to watch it, no question.
The one thing I really hope trends upward, if anything trends upward, is three-point shooting. We've got to be able to stay in the game.
Well, that's going to be the problem.
To come back from behind every game. It ain't going to happen every game we come back.
No, and that's going to be the issue, and that's why the scrapping and continuing to stay at it defensively is going to be important. The Blazers, they're next to dead last, Tall Tim, in three-point shooting, and it's going to continue to be an issue for him. Tonight, they hit a couple of big threes late with Jeremy Grant and Shaden Sharp, but for the night, 9 of 32 from three. 28%. It's not a good number. And it's probably going to be like that throughout the year because they're not a good three-point shooting team. So that's why they're going to have to scrap. You're going to have guys play defense. They're going to have to manufacture points and find other ways to win games. The issue with this team, if they play better defense like we've seen over the last three games, they'll be okay. The issue is that, you know, in years past, they've been able to make up for some of the poor defense because they were a terrific three-point shooting team and they could score. Scoring's going to be harder for this group. We saw it tonight. Fortunately for them, they were playing Memphis. But, you know, the offense, especially with Ant not on the floor, it's going to be a work in progress. They just don't have a lot of guys who can knock down threes at a high rate. Let's go back out to the phones. East side of town, Theo. Theo, what up? You're on the fifth quarter. Fire away.
Hey, Chad. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Hello, Rip City. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Shaden again. You know, you guys are talking about him, and dude, I've been touting this guy to all my friends. Obviously, I don't call in a lot, but this guy is going to be special, and I can't wait for him to wake up to that moment when he knows, even though he's pretty smooth right now, when he knows who he is and not manufactures, but feels that shot. It's when you, as a basketball player, as a golfer, when you make the shot, you can feel it, you know it. It is right there, and he's got all the workings for that. Also, Kamara is a awesome person. Please don't get rid of Brogdon. I think he is one of the stabilizing factors on this team. Thanks for taking my call, buddy.
You got it. I appreciate it, Theo. That's my man Theo on the east side of town right now. He's got a very sultry voice, some smooth tones there, Theo. The deal with Brogdon, look, I don't know how long they're going to keep him, but he's not going to be here forever. There's going to be too many teams wanting a piece of Brogdon, contenders who are going to offer up great packages for him. So he's going to go. You've got to understand that the team, the way it's put together now, some of the vets that are on the team are not meant to be here for an extended period of time because the Blazers are going to be able to get a lot of assets in return for some of the vets they have. So don't grow too attached to guys like Malcolm Brogdon. I love Malcolm. What I love most about him is that he got shipped to Portland from a contender, a legit title contender in the Boston Celtics. My guess is he probably wasn't initially too thrilled about the move to go from a legit title contender to a team that's young and rebuilding, and he's playing behind youngsters on the roster, but he's embraced the role and his attitude and the way he carries himself like a true pro. He's not sulking or creating any type of issues. He's been positive, good leadership. He's worked with the youngsters, and he's got a good perspective. I love everything about Malcolm Brogdon. I just don't think he'll be here long term, so I'm just cautioning you not to get too attached. And that's okay because the Blazers are going to be able to get a haul. Depending on which vets they decide to move on from, they're now in a position to where they're going to be able to retool the entire franchise. And they've got vets that contenders will want a piece of, and they're going to offer up a lot of assets. And it's going to allow Portland to continue to retool, restock the cupboard, and rebuild this team from the ground up, which is beautiful. So just don't get too attached. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with it, man. The Blazers are in a good spot, and Cronin is under no pressure to make a move. There's no rush. He's got time to sit back and wait for the best offers and see what's out there. Let's go out to Drew in Portland. Drew, you're next up on the fifth quarter. Fire away.
Chad, I was at the game tonight, and that was such an incredible, electric experience to really see the team have the fans want them to succeed so badly, and they delivered in such a dramatic manner. I thought that the block that Sharp got on Kennard will live in infamy, like in his career in a good way. Like that was just a spectacular. If we'd had him on the '99 Blazers, there'd have been no Memorial Day miracle, right? Like he got so up there to block that shot. And it just feels so good to see the team, play good team defense and stop, a team from scoring when it counts. So that was just a terrific win. I'm so happy for the young team.
Yeah, it's great, man. They were scrappy down the stretch. I'm quite satisfied watching teams win games with defense because that's what they need. It's great. Blazers get the win in overtime, 115 to 113. Your telephone number here on the fifth quarter, if you want to join me, is 503-248-0620. You can also join the YouTube chat and stream. We're up right now. Go to youtube.com, pull up our homepage, Rip City Radio 620, and click subscribe, and then join the live link, and you can be right here in the studio with me and be a part of the live chat, 503-248-0620. We'll come back. We'll get the shot of the night. We'll continue to take your phone calls. Big win for the Blazers tonight. They improved to 3-3. They topped the Grizzlies in their very first in-season tournament game. Next game up on Sunday, 6 o'clock tip from Moda against the Grizzlies.
.48 seconds left. 48 seconds left. Backs it up cross court to Brogdon. Brogdon bobbles it. Now he drives on Smart. Backs it up for Grant. He's wide open. 3 on the way. Got it! Jeremy Grant looks to the sky as the Blazers lead by 4. Timeout, Memphis. 112-108, 39 seconds remain in overtime.
It is the fifth quarter. Chad Doing with you on a Friday night. My man Travis just informed me I'm going to need a boat to get home tonight. I'm assuming he's referring to the atmospheric river or whatever they call that thing. What else is new? Rain in the Northwest. Lovely. Wonderful. Blazers get the win in overtime tonight, 115-113. Most of the talk has been about Shaedon Sharpe with that electrifying block he had on Luke Kennard at the end of regulation, pushing into overtime. He also hit a couple of clutch free throws, hit a big 3 late, and the Blazers get the win tonight by 2, 115-113. Now, they were down 100-90 with 3:15 to play, and the Blazers scratched their way back into the game, forced overtime, and got the victory. So big props to the Blazers for their scrappiness tonight as they find a way to get a win. 503-248-0620. Let's go out to Miguel in Malala. He thinks it's time to celebrate. I agree. Let's go there right now. Miguel, welcome to the fifth quarter.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. How you doing, huh?
Fabulous, man. Blazers got the win tonight. It was electrifying.
Well, what? How did they win, dude?
Yeah, Shaedon Sharpe with the block at the end of regulation and a couple of big plays in overtime, and they got the win.
Well, I didn't even know if they won, because I was having a dinner with my sister and her friends, and it was really good, and I didn't know that the team was even playing. And so, let me play the music because I didn't know if they won or not.
They did.
Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, who's the guy that got his shot blocked there at the end?
Luke Kennard.
Luke, you know what, Luke, bro? The force ain't with you. The force was not with you at all, dude, because I'm 5'4", bro, and I could block your shot because you're not any good. You need to go back to Memphis, and what do? Barbecue there? That's all you do is you got your barbecues out there, and the Cowboys, you're a Cowboys and stuff. You need to go back there because that's all you got, bro.
That's right.
This is a good song, huh?
I like it, man. Sharpe is his pappy.
Yeah. So, bro, I got to go. My sister has to work tomorrow, so I got to take her. She's still cutting hair and making a lot of money and everything. So I got to take her to the job. So you have yourself a good night, bro, okay? Let's go, Blazers! Woo!
There you go. There's Miguel in Malala. Let's go out to Tony, my man in Boring. What's up, Tony?
Good evening, Chad.
It's great to hear your voice, man. What a game tonight.
That was fabulous. Shaedon Sharpe is ridiculous. Like, his first step is incredible. And like everybody's saying, obviously that block was pretty awesome. There's only a handful of guys that you got to be, thinking long term about this team. I think at this point would be obviously Sharpe, Scoot, and Aiden, and I think everybody else is. Well, I guess Kamara might be making a case for himself, but I think everybody else is probably expendable. Would you agree?
Well, I think what the Blazers are going to do is they can sit back and take a look at what they got. The youngsters are nice. Scoot, Shaedon, obviously Kamara. But with the veterans that are on the roster right now, whether it be Matisse Thybulle or Malcolm Brogdon or Robert Williams, they can just sit back and they don't have to do anything. But if they get good offers where they can collect, massive assets, then they can look at it then. They're in a great position right now because they're in no hurry to do anything, but they got valuable pieces that other teams, especially contenders before the deadline, are going to want, so they can sit back and see what's offered up. I love it.
I think one of the most impressive things tonight was, we've seen a team that settled for jump shots for so many years.
Yeah.
And these guys didn't freaking settle. I mean, they just kept driving it to the rim, and it was a difference in the game. And that's how you grind out games like that and come back and win. That was really impressive. I think it says a lot about Chauncey. I think everybody's been kind of gripping like, gosh, is this guy a good coach of this team where, as he's learning on the job, they're learning on the job. But maybe it'll come together. I don't know. It's freaking early, but hey, that was that was pretty impressive. That was a good win, and I am just flexing my sack here and boring. You have a good evening.
That's good. You're just like Shaden Sharp, man, flexing your bag. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, you mentioned the aggressiveness. The Blazers tonight, just like they did against Detroit, where they were plus 17 at the foul line. Tonight, the Trailblazers 28 of 36 from the stripe. Memphis just 9 of 13. And the reason why they got 36 free throws is because they were attacking. And even Shaden Sharp late in the game, he didn't settle for some jump shot. He attacked the rim, got contact, got to the line, and made a couple of free throws, which put him in a position to go into overtime. And that's important to do because this team's not going to be a big-time three-point shooting team. So attack. Use your athleticism. And when you're, just like Steve Jones used to say, the team that is the aggressor will normally get the benefit of the doubt from the official. And we saw it again tonight. And I'm sure Billups is reminding of that. Don't be afraid to put the ball on the floor and attack the rack, man. Go for it. Let's go out to Multnomah Village. Jeff in Multnomah Village is here. What's up, Jeff? Fire away. You're on fifth quarter.
Hey, Chad. I think 79-3 is very much on the table now.
Yeah, no
Do you
doubt.
agree?
Yes.
But I wanted to call in and say, I called him before and talked a little bit of smack about Chauncey, but he's looked pretty darn good the last few games. He actually looks like a coach. He's been more vocal. He's trusting his young guys. And the thing that really stuck out to me is after the game ended, it looks like he went up to Ayton not all that happy and kind of chewed him out for screwing up, which I'd love to see because in the past it seems like he's been so passive, but the last few games, Chauncey's been a completely different coach.
I agree. And that's why I've been saying, whether it comes to Coach Billups or Scoot Henderson, that you can't make bold judgments off of a few games. We got to wait and let this breathe a little bit. One, because you've got rookies. It's going to take time for them to learn. Guys like Scoot Henderson, young players, youngest roster in the NBA, and a bunch of guys who haven't played together, no continuity. So we got to give that time to let it breathe, and then we can start to see what they're about. That's why we're looking for incremental growth. With Chauncey Billups, as I've said, look, I have my concerns, and I know what the word is around the league and nationally for people who, look in from the outside. The word most closely associated with Billups through the first couple of years here in Portland has been disorganized. But I will also say that the first couple of years he was here, not exactly the best set of circumstances. And I'm not making excuses, just reality. He was hired by Olshey, who was fired, and then Cronin took over. And before you know it, this team's going into back-to-back tank seasons. Multiple injuries, 2 tank seasons. So how can you really judge a guy under those circumstances? I don't think you can. So now we have a season where he's got more of the guys that he wants and a young roster where he gets a chance to teach, and hopefully we see these guys develop. So there's no need to rush to judgment. Let's just sit back and let it continue, and then we can start to make judgments later in the year. That's why I wasn't freaking out after 3 games with Scoot Henderson. How can you? It's not a sample size. It's not long enough. And we'll learn more about Chauncey as time goes. But you're right, the last 3 games, more structure on offense, guys communicating better and executing defensively. And you got to give him credit. He made the call to go with Shaden Sharp in the starting lineup when Anthony went down. That was the right decision. Clearly the right decision. And he gets credit for that. Let's go out to Victor in Turkey. My man, Victor, what's up?
Hi, my man. I'm so thrilled. You won't believe it. I cannot explain. I have to make it short. Ever since I was 5 years old, I was talking to God. I lost my family. I had severe depression. I went to hospital for a long, long time. Not here, not in the U.S. when I was over there. But what I'm saying is, you won't believe it. Anytime the Blazer is behind or I feel they're going to lose, what I do, I turn off the news and I talk to God, or I talk to, supernatural, whatever you call it. Then this thing happened. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe it myself. I said, it's like God is talking to me. I mean, what I'm saying is religious is a complex situation. I mean, I cannot tell you, but it happened over and over again. It's not only one time, two times. It happened in Brandon Road. It started in Brandon Road. That feeling started to show itself. But what I'm saying, in two minutes mark tonight, the Blazers were 5-6 points behind, and I saw those Bain, Desmond Bain, and those Marcus, who's that? Marcus, I forgot his name. He was attacking the Blazers. So I turned up the news, and I went outside, and I talked to God. I said, I don't want to get more depressed. I cannot sleep. And when I came back, and you told me, when I turned on the news, and you told me the Blazers won, I got double excited, because not only for Blazer, of course, but I said that God answered my prayer, But dear Chad, I think we have to keep the Ant. I know Shade is a really exceptional, but we need a 3-pointer. And I tell you, the Ant can do it. But the thing I want to tell you, but maybe you want to think about it. The coach, they changed last year they changed the Ant game. They changed him. They changed his game. He's more passive. He's like a 2-point. He's like a 2-point. Now he's more. He wants to make more 2 points than 3 points. You remember when he was coming off the bench, the first year or first 2 years, he made like 5 3-point in a row, 5, 6, 10 in a row, and he's coming off the bench. But right now he's kind of I don't know, something happened to him. He's not that kind of shooter 3-point shooter than he was. I just want to know your opinion. I think the coach has changed his game. Thank you.
Hey, Victor. Hey, do me a favor. Can you do me a favor, Victor?
Yeah.
Keep praying for the Trailblazers every time you watch them play. That's good. Keep praying for them.
Yeah, I do, man.
Keep praying. That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it happened.
Hey, whatever it takes for this team. This franchise needs divine intervention. There's no question about it. That's my man Victor right there. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. And don't worry, Ant's not going anywhere. Ant's not going anywhere, my friend. And they do need 3-point help. They were rough tonight again, 28% from downtown. They're not going to be a good 3-point shooting team. It's going to continue to be an issue. But that's why they're attacking the rim. And they were highly productive at the foul line tonight. They were plus 17 in the win over Detroit, plus 19 tonight, 28 of 36 from the foul line, and Memphis just 9 of 13. Let's go out to my partner, Chris Burkhart. Hey, Burkhart, what's up, my man? Happy early birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you. How we doing?
Fabulous, man. Everyone's excited about what they saw tonight with the victory because of once again, the scrappiness, the defense, and Shaedon Sharpe leading the way down the stretch.
Isn't it unbelievable? I was going to text you in the middle of all this volleyball I'm watching. So look at these little 500 Blazers we got over here, Chad.
I know, 3-3, 3 straight wins. And, once again, just like we've seen the last 2 games before tonight, multiple guys stepping up to make game-winning plays. Malcolm Brogdon, 24 points, 10 assists. They got 22 points, 5 boards, and some key plays from Shaedon Sharpe. DeAndre Ayton, 16 points, 12 boards, and 3 steals. They got great play. Jeremy Grant led them with 26 points and productive minutes off the bench, 32 of them for Toumani Camara. That's a lot of guys making a lot of big-time plays.
Yeah, man, absolutely it is. And as I tuned in, because, we got this fancy YouTube setup so I can watch from anywhere. So I was watching in the media room in Ridgeview, watching all this volleyball, and watching you. And it's so nice to have you chime in and hear, oh, Shaedon Sharpe came up big again. He came up big again. Like, that's what we want him to do, isn't it, Chad?
Yeah.
We've talked about it over and over and over, that especially with Ant being out, you want this guy to come in, score big, do all the little things, look good on both ends. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm listening through you. And to know that he was making the plays when you wanted him to is so, so good to hear.
Yeah. What's great, too, with Shaedon is that the vets on the team and that lineup that was in the game late in the fourth and into the overtime was Brogdon, Grant, Ayton, along with Shaden Sharp and Tamani Kamara. But the veterans deferring to Shaden and allowing him to work with the ball in his hands, to attack or create for his teammates. Like, they're deferring to him willingly because they understand he's got game. I like that.
Yeah, you love to see that. The other thing I love to see, you just mentioned there, and I noticed it in the last game as well, is Tamani Kamara getting those closer minutes, right? Like, I mean, last year, we started the year, Chad, debating with various reporters about how many minutes per game Shaden Sharp should get. They thought we were crazy when we said he should get at least 15 per night. And then you look at a night like tonight, Tamani Kamara, a guy who no one in Blazerland really paid attention to until the trade for Dame happened. He goes out and gets 31 minutes. And it's very easy to look at a box score, right, and say, okay, 5 points, 3 rebounds, whatever. But you know that he impacts the game because he's getting big minutes and he's playing well.
Yeah, and he's getting those minutes because of what he's doing defensively. He's doing what the coaches want, and he's working his tail off. That's great. And you know what I would do? I would look squarely at Matisse Thybulle. I might move Tamani Kamara into the starting lineup now.
I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, you understand that this year is for development, right? And Tease has had his ups and downs as where Tamani Kamara is earning those minutes. I mean, I think you and I said this early on that he's going to eventually give Chauncey Billups that question mark where he's like, hey, coach, I've given you a million reasons not to sit me on the bench, right? Ball's in your court.
Yeah, no question. Well, dude, so I'm going to see you at Moda Center on Sunday.
Sounds like it. That's my birthday present from you is, letting me actually go to Moda for a game. Thank you.
Dude. Well, enjoy your night, man. I'm glad you called me, brother.
Oh, I always want to call in and always enjoy talking to you. I will see you Sunday, Chad.
Yeah. There's my man Burkhart doing some work for the OSAA and chiming in on the Trailblazers tonight. Big win. Okay, we'll come back on fifth quarter, 503-248-0620. It looks like we have someone on hold that we have not talked to in quite some time. We'll look forward to that. We'll come back with a scoreboard report, and then we're going to hear from Chauncey Billups, and then we'll take your phone calls, 503-248-0620. Chad doing fifth quarter. Your Portland Trailblazers tonight get an overtime victory over the Grizzlies, 115-113 here on 620 Rip City Radio. All right, your night in the association. We start in Indiana where the Pacers take out the Cavaliers 121-116. Miles Turner, 27 points and 9 rebounds. In Milwaukee, the Bucks 110. The Knicks 105. Dame dropped 30 tonight. Jalen Brunson 45 in the loss. In Miami, the Heat over the Wizards 121-114. Tyler Hero 24 points, 10 boards, 9 assists. In Chicago, the Nets topped the Bulls 109-107. In OKC, the Warriors outscored the Thunder 141-139. Steph Curry, 30 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. And Chet Holmgren, 24 points, 8 rebounds in the loss. In Denver, the Nuggets over the Mavericks, 125-114. They improved to 5-1. Jokic, 33 points, 14 boards, and 9 assists. And in Portland tonight, in overtime, the Blazers over the Grizzlies, 115-113. Desmond Bane had 33 for the Grizzlies. Malcolm Brogdon, 24 points, 7 boards, and 10 assists for the Blazers. Jeremy Grant had a team-high 26 points. Portland will be back at it Sunday at Moda Center. Against the Grizzlies, tip-off is at 6. I'll have game day starting at 3:30, and that is your scoreboard report. Let's take a listen to head coach Chauncey Billups following the game tonight.
Winning. It's just a hell of a game, man. You know, it's just a hell of a game. Just proud of us. We just stayed together, man. You know, we stayed together. You know, we was down a lot. You know, a lot went against us. I mean, we lose an early challenge that I thought we was gonna win. Boom, short on timeouts the whole second half. So there were runs that they made that I would normally, you know, try to calm the waters with a timeout. Couldn't do it. Taylor did a great job with his challenges, you know, tonight. I thought it gained them momentum every time. Man, it was, at the end, shoot 4 straight threes, just kind of, everything was against us. We just was very connected the whole time and kept scrapping. You know, we kept scrapping. We said that if we did a good job of not turning the ball over tonight, we felt like we'd have a good chance in the game. We took care of the ball, you know. That's a gritty, tough, really, really tough defensive team. They make it really tough for you. So there was a lot of good things to take away, and there's a lot of, obviously, improvement areas as well.
Chauncey, bit of a two-parter here. One, you guys are generating free throws at a crazy rate in the last 2 games, particularly against your opponents. Great. So you're getting them, one line getting them. But offensively, your primary actions are generating much, but your secondary looks are getting you so much more. What do you think is kind of encouraging that?
Well, one, that's what we want to do. We want to be on the attack at all times. We want to get to that free throw line. You know, we want to get as many free throws as we can by just attacking the paint, you know. And then you get teams in the bonus and, you know, they kind of want to shy away, and we want to keep pushing. You know, it's a good way for us to score, especially when we haven't shot it very well. So let's get to the free throw line. The only shot in basketball, nobody can guard you, you know, or even be in front of you for that matter. So let's try to get there. So we've done a good job with that. The initial parts of our offense that you talked about, most good defensive teams are going to take away that initial action, you know. So then it becomes, how do we play when they take stuff away? And I'm always say, when in doubt, get to the paint and just make the right next play. And we've been doing a better job of that.
What did you think of Shaden's performance tonight, particularly late in the game? It seemed like he came on in the fourth quarter offensively, obviously got the block to make sure it went to overtime, another gas play.
Yes, that was definitely a big-time gas play by Shea. I thought Shea was good all night. You know, I really do. He kind of picked and chose when he wanted to kind of handle the ball and pick and roll. I kind of had to force Shea sometimes because he's just so, you know, he's just so nice. You get lost out there sometimes, and I don't like that. We created some situations where we got a matchup that we liked with him in his areas, and he passed it. And so, you know, of course, I'm going crazy on him, and I'm saying, what are you doing? You know, and these young guys, they just sometimes they don't recognize the moment, you know, or why we ran this to get this switch. Bane's in foul trouble. He got 4 fouls, and like, this is why we're running that, you know. So he just, they don't recognize it, but I thought Shea was good. I thought he was good. He had some lapses defensively where I think he could have been a ton better defensively tonight. But he did good, man. He did good.
Chauncey, you always talk about wanting to, establish an identity with this group, and what does a win like this kind of do towards, building that and establishing that?
Yeah, I think it gives we're showing everybody who we are and how we're going to play, if you will, and that's we're going to play hard and we're going to play together on both sides of the floor, and that's what I want our culture to be, period. We're going to play hard, we're going to play together. And we're willing to go up or down just like that, But I think it gives our guys confidence in what we're doing. I think our fans love how we just grind all the time, It's not, when you have a team that plays with that type of heart and enthusiasm, it's a lot of times not about the letters on the back of the jersey. It's not about star power all the time. It's about guys going out and laying it on the line, and people can get behind that. So that's what we're trying to create, and I think we're doing a really good job so far.
Chauncey, what is it that makes you comfortable putting a rookie on Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Desmond Bain tonight, and Tamani?
Well, he's just a rookie by name. He's not a real rookie. He's a grown-up. He really is. He's a mature. He's an older rookie, if you will, but he's just competitive level. His physicality. Most great defenders are physical, and he plays with that type of physicality. So, in the event of obviously developing and him trying to make a name for himself in the league, the coach has to trust you enough to give you the opportunity to do so. And he continues to rise to the occasion every time.
Bro, you went with him to start the second half instead of Matisse. Is there anything behind that, or is that?
Not really. Bain was kind of rolling. I just wanted a little more physicality on him. Not that Matisse was doing a poor job, but that kid is that's an all-star type of player over there. We just want to give him a different look, And I wanted to change a few things on him defensively in the second half, and I didn't need to as much when I went there. So nothing behind it, nothing changes. Everything is all still the same.
There you go. Coach Billups following the Blazers' 115-113 victory tonight over the Memphis Grizzlies. What a win. And multiple guys stepping up to make game-winning plays, and that was the big difference tonight. Let's take a listen to a bit of Shaedon Sharpe and what he had to say.
How you feeling after that one? You did a little bit of everything. Driving through, making shots, threes, the block shot. Give us your feelings on your performance and the win.
Feels good. Right now I feel sick. No, it feels good to get the dub. I feel like everybody contributed. Everybody did their job and came on competed. So I think we did good.
Are you sick?
Am I sick? Yeah.
Like what kind of sick?
Cold. It's just a cold. That's it.
How long are you feeling better?
Probably the second day now, third day.
Still playing 46 minutes in overtime.
No, yeah, it's crazy. I didn't look at the box scores and everything. I see 46. So I had to ask how many minutes is in the game because I was confused playing that long. So, no, it's crazy.
Chauncey talked about this team that they've been grinding out these last 3 months. You guys are down 10 with 3 minutes to go today and pulled it out. What is it about this team that has you guys playing so well late in games?
We just never give up. We stay the course. Everybody competes, plays hard. We just stay focused. So that's about it.
There you go. Shaedon Sharpe after the Blazers' 115-113 victory. He's right. They don't give up. They didn't tonight, down 10 with 3:15 to play, and they, fight, scratch, claw, get themselves back in the game. Shaedon Sharpe with a couple of big free throws and a block on Luke Kennard. And Luke Kennard's kind of a knob, too, so it was great to see Sharpe just destroy him. And before you know it, they're in overtime, and they get some guys to make some timely plays, and they get the victory. And that was good. That was a satisfying win. because this team's not going to win pretty on most nights because the offense is just not going to look the way we are accustomed to over the last few years. But when they can do it with their defense and their scrap and, the energy from the youth, what Sharp and, Kamara did tonight was terrific. Blazer fans are down with that type of win, that type of scrap. Let's go out to the phones. Fifth quarter, Chad Doing here on 620 Rip City Radio, also on our stream on YouTube. And you can join us on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com and pull up our homepage, Rip City Radio 620, and subscribe to the page. And you can hit the live link and join us here in the studio. My man Michael Shacker is running the ship. And we're here with you as the Blazers get the win. We're back on Sunday. Don't forget, game day will start at 3:30, and the tip-off from Moda Center is at 6. All right, let's go out to my man Ralph, the landscaper who is in East Amity, I believe. Ralphie, long time no chat, and the people in the YouTube chat room asking for you, so it's nice to hear that you're on the show. What's up, buddy?
Well, Chan, it's kind of a busy – it's my business is always busy in the summer, that. And, unlike you, where you're out golfing, how many rounds did you play this summer? 100?
93, to be exact.
Yeah, you should have got – why didn't you get up to 100?
I tried. I just couldn't quite get there, but I'm hoping before the end of the year I can find a way to get 7 more rounds in. But the problem is, Ralphie, the same thing with your business. When the rain comes in, harder to landscape and harder to play golf.
Yeah, well, you go down to Arizona. Don't you go down there for football games every year? Isn't that right?
I do. I like to go to Arizona, and I like to go to Colorado, 2 places that have a lot of sunshine throughout the year.
Well, you need to go down there and play 2 rounds of golf each day, and then you get closer. Well, if you really want to get 100, then that's a little more realistic then. So anyway, Chan, how you been? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Everything is really well. I've got nothing to complain about, to be honest with you. Work is going well. I had a great summer. We had nice weather for an extended period of time, so I got to play some golf. Family's well, and this young, scrappy Blazer team is making people happy, so it's all good. How about you? What's going on with you, Ralphie?
Well, people say, oh, Ralphie always talks about himself and doesn't talk about the team enough, and so I'm not going to talk about myself. I will give you one update that I know you're interested in, because the last time we talked, I brought up I bought that 20 acres on a hill out south of, well, I don't want to say too much where it is because that's probably a confidentiality agreement, but it's north of Amity, but it's out, it's up there a little bit. So I'll just say that. And I bought this back in the late 70s.
Is this hemp?
No. Chan, come on. That's there's no money in that. You drive by those hemp places, and you ever see a car in the parking lot?
No, I don't think so.
The only ones making money off that is the state, when they charge you for the license, and then they charge you for fees and everything. They're the ones making money, which God bless America. That's how it works. But no, there's there was that land I told you about that I bought in the late 70s. And all my friends told me I was crazy. Of course, they don't know a lick about landscaping. I paid $319,000 for it back then. And here out of the blue, just a couple weeks before we talked last, there's some big winery, and I won't mention the name of it, from California that came up and wanted to buy the property. They said they had to dig hard and look through every little detail to figure out who in the heck owns that. And that's the way I had it on purpose. And they came up and they wanted to buy the property. And they actually knocked on my door, Chan, and they had a down payment, which was, half of their offering price. And so I said, no, let's talk. I'm not going to make some decision on standing on my porch with you guys. And so we agreed to meet again, and we met a couple times in the summer. And every time we met, their price went up, which it should have. So they bought that 20 acres from me, and it was $21.6 million is what they ended up paying for it, because they knew what I knew back then is that it's great grape land, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to come up with some kind of, Cal Oregon wine or something that they're going to make, and the Oregon people are going to love it, and the California people are going to think it's a novelty, and off we go. So I knew that's what they're going to do. So I wanted to make sure that they're paying for the land, and they did. So it was. Have you ever seen $10 million cash?
No, I can't say that I have. Have you seen 10 million cash?
Yes. Yeah, they gave me 10 million cash, and they gave me a bank check for the other 11 million, and so it worked out well. But anyway, no, I've been fine, Chan. That's kind of the big news. I mean, this property I had just sitting there doing nothing pretty much, and maybe reinvest that, maybe not. I don't know. I've got plenty of money sitting around. I don't need to keep that money for any particular reason. So it's just one of those things. But it's it sits perfectly. It's sloped just right. And I knew all that, and that was way before this Oregon wine thing took off. Before it was some punk yuppie kid decided that it was a good idea to have Oregon wines, and I saw that coming. So when I had that land, I knew that eventually I would cash it out and do just fine. So
well, all I know about the soils that we have here in the Northwest is that what makes the Northwest unique, whether it's Oregon or Washington, and why you see Oregon and Washington labels popping up on menus across the world, is because the variety in soils allows for growing many different types of grapes, which allows for good wine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they knew that, and they asked for permission to test it. That was one of the things that kind of, was part of the process over the summer. And I told them, I said, here's what the test is going to show you, because I've been testing it. And they came back and said, yeah, you're exactly right. All the percents are right on, and we're very, very pleased with that. So that's where one of the price increases came, and so that was a good thing. They've got nothing but money down there, Chan. They're kind of like, Paul Allen or somebody.
Endless cash.
Yeah, pretty much. So, by the way, I wish Burkhart was working tonight, because I've got a bone to pick with Burkhart.
Oh, you do? What's your bone to pick with Burkhart? The hair?
Well, he does that Monday night deal for the on the radio there, right?
Courtside, yes.
Courtside Monday night. And he gets on there and he says, hey, call and talk to us. And he gives the phone number. And so I thought, hey, the show's not even halfway over, so I'm going to call. And I called, and they put me on hold. I was on hold. And I was on hold. and I was still on hold. And that's wrapping it up for Courtside Monday night. I'm Chris Burkhart. Join us next time, and da-da-da-da-da. If he's going to sit there and say, hey, call me, and then I waste my time to call. I don't care about these other flunkies that call him. They don't got anything else to do. I call him, and he just doesn't take my call. So, excuse me, Chan. He needs to learn that, there's some people in life you can blow off and other people you can't. And I'm in the can't category.
Yeah, you can't blow off Ralph the Landscaper. I've noticed you've been coughing tonight. Have you been milling bark dust?
No, but I should. That'll clear this right up. I'll tell you that. I should be milling bark dust or else going to a Fifi parlor.
Show me your bark dust.
Yeah. People don't know that I mill my own bark dust for the premier customers I have, and they're in a different
Well, I
class.
only know that you mill your own bark dust because you were milling your own bark dust one night when you called into the fifth quarter, which I found to be quite fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, well, I got to stay ahead of it, Chan, because it's for, like, say that Jim, I'll just throw Jim out there, and I do have a Jim, and he manages a big business park that is a customer of mine.
Yes.
And he called me one day and he said, hey, my mom is having some people over, a little family reunion, and we want to spruce the place up a little bit outside. So, he knows that I'll take care of him. So I had to get more bark dust at kind of an inopportune time, and I made it, and then we took it out there and took care of him. And all these old ladies that came there, all these old geezers that showed up there just said, "Oh wow, it smells so good and it's so fresh and it's beautiful here."
You've got to be the only person that does that. I don't know anyone else that mills their own bark dust. That's amazing. And you're right, the freshness. What I like about bark dust is the smell, right? The fresh smell of the bark dust. So if you're milling your own, you're getting the fresh of the fresh.
Yeah, and then you got to know when to mill it, Chan. I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but that's one of the keys. Is it's like picking grapes. It's the same thing. I don't own any wine land anymore. I sold it for $21 million here a month ago, but it's one of those things. You got to know when to mill that bark dust. And most people go down to Jimmy's Bark Dust on the corner and get a pickup truck load and go do the job. But I don't do that. Can't have that.
No, that's great.
Well, all right, Chan, I'm going to let you go, and you keep up the good work there, and I hope you go to Arizona and get some golf in between now and the 31st of December.
All right, I will, and I appreciate that, my friend. And good job not talking about yourself tonight, Ralphie. The people will appreciate that. There's Ralph the landscaper out in East Amity. He said he wasn't going to talk about himself, but I feel like he may have talked about himself a little bit. And no, I have not seen 10 million cash with my own eyes. Let's go back out to the phones. Antron, who's in Portland. Antron, welcome to the fifth quarter. What is up? Fire away.
I think that was the worst segment ever. But anyways, let's go Blazers. And I just want to call and say, show me your Blazer.
Show me your Blazer. Oh, Antron. I don't know which part of Portland you were calling from. I wonder if you're in that area right between Delta Park and Jansen Beach where for some reason you're in the I-5 corridor and the phone just drops off. Absolute garbage. I hate cell phones. Again, I'll ask the question, how is it we can have cell phones for this long? But the most basic thing that you need a phone for is to make a phone call, even though none of us make phone calls anymore, and you can't even do that because the connection drops off. Whatever. All right, we'll come back, 503-248-0620. We'll get into what's the scoot, and then we'll look to Sunday, our next matchup against the Grizzlies. Well, they suck right now, too, by the way. 0-6. I'd love to see the Blazers make them go 0-7. Nice job, Ja. Hope you enjoy the 0-6, buddy. Thanks for putting yourself ahead of the team. All right, we'll come back. We're going to get into what's the scoot. I'll give you the latest on Scoot Henderson. You got the fifth quarter on your home of the Blazers, 620 Rip City Radio, and live on our YouTube stream.
With a beautiful wife.
All right, here's the latest on Scoot Henderson. He did not play tonight. He was out with the right ankle sprain. And all I can tell you is what I was told from a couple of people close to the team, that the ankle sprain was not severe. After the game against Detroit on Wednesday, when he suffered the ankle sprain, he was moving around with no issue, no crutches, no support. It was just sore. And so I think they kept him out for precautionary reasons. And I wouldn't be surprised if he played on Sunday. So not severe, could play on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, he's going to be fine and should be back in the lineup soon, which is great. And, the good thing is I'm looking forward to him coming back because, the last 2 games out, the 2 of the better games that he's played in the first 5 of the year. Again, early and very small sample from what we have for Scoot, but he's moving in the right direction. His attitude is proper, and he's going to continue to work hard, which is nice. Now, a lot of people want to know, what the team is going to do when Anthony Simons is healthy. Clearly, Ant's got to start because he's one of the best player on the team, and he makes $25 million a year, so he's going to start. And you can't take Shaden Sharp out of the starting lineup because he's balling, and he's been amazing. So I would start Scoot, Ant, and Shaden Sharp. And I understand. I know. And Shaden's not a 3. He's not a small forward, but I just want my 3 best players playing. I need Scoot to play because I want him to develop, and you need him to get minutes. And the best way for him to grow is to be in the starting lineup. So I put him out there. I start him. I play Ant, and I just put Shaden at the 3. And it's not ideal, but I would much rather him get starters minutes than be sitting on the bench. And then off the bench, you can have Malcolm Brogdon and Tamani Kamara to come right in. But that's what I would do. I would start Ant, Scoot, Shaden, Ayton, and Grant, and then use Kamara and Brogdon off the bench. Brogdon, of course, being your first man off, and then you can go to Kamara. And you still got Jabari. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start Scoot. I'm not bringing Scoot off the bench. I'm not investing a top 3 pick in Scoot and then having him come off the bench. I think that's insane. I also think it's insane not to start Shaden. So I'm going to play all 3. That's how I do it. That's what I want them to do, and I hope that's what we end up seeing once Anthony Simons comes back. But in the meantime, it's the Shaden Sharp show right now. This guy is he's maturing. He's, making plays. He's being aggressive, all the different things we want to see, which is terrific. All right, that's going to do it for us. A big thanks to all of you. Great phone calls tonight. I appreciate you for joining the stream tonight on YouTube. We'll be back on Sunday. Next broadcast, game day starts at 3:30. Tip-off from Moda Center against the Grizzlies at 6. And I'll be over at Moda Center on Sunday. Your final score tonight from Moda Center, the Trailblazers over the Grizzlies in overtime, 115-113 for Michael Shacker. I am Chad Doing. Show me your Blazer. Have a good night, my friends.